We'll call to order the meeting of the Ellettsville Plan Commission for March 7th, 2024. Pam, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mike, roll call, please.
David Drake.
Here.
Dan Swafford. Steve Hale.
Here.
Pamela Samples.
Here.
Zach Michael.
Here.
Ryan Skaggs. Pat Wazalowski.
Here.
There's Dan.
Dan Swafford.
Okay. First item on our agenda is approval of minutes. I said March 7th, 2024, didn't I? It's April 4th, 2024. I was reading the minutes date. Approval of minutes for March 7th, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly conflict of interest statement. Does anyone have a conflict of interest involving any of the items on our agenda tonight?
No.
Seeing none. We have no old business, new business. First item of business is voluntary annexation of 317 East Main Street, Ellettsville. Petitioner Lindsay Norris, case number PC 24-12. Denise.
First up on the agenda tonight is a annexation requested by Lindsay Norris to voluntarily annex a parcel totaling approximately 1/2 acre. Subject parcel is located at 317 East Main Street. The proposed annexation area is 32% contiguous to the town of Ellettsville, and 100% of the property owners are parties to the petition. Property is currently zoned IP institutional public by Monroe County and is recommended to be designated as residential 1, single family residential upon annexation. Property will be located in Council Ward 3. Property is serviced by water. Annexation should not require any capital projects to extend services to the parcel. Town will provide police, fire, EMS, and other governmental services immediately upon annexation. Plan Commission action shall be in the form of a favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation to Town Council, which takes, sorry, I went too far, which takes final action on the annexation petition. Staff recommends a favorable recommendation to be forwarded to Town Council with a recommended zoning of R1 single family residential upon annexation. Petitioner's here if you have any questions.
And just like the next petition, most people would have thought this was already in the Ellettsville town limits in the first place due to its location.
I'm sorry, what?
Just like the next petition, most people would have thought this was already in Ellettsville due to its location.
Correct. And as you can see, the bottom picture, 313 East Main and 317 East Main share a common driveway. Petitioner also owns 313 East Main, and it is next on your agenda to be annexed.
Does anybody have any questions for Denise? Seeing none, does the petitioner want to say anything? No. Don't have to. Okay. Does anybody have any comments or a motion? Oh, sorry. I'm just not with it today. Is there any public comments on this petition? Okay, now we can have a motion.
Motion to move in a favorable direction.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
David Drake.
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Steve Hale.
Yes.
Zach Michael.
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Pat Wazalowski.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is voluntary annexation of 313 East Main Street. Same petitioner, case number PC 24-17.
This is also a request by Lindsay Norris to voluntarily annex a parcel totaling 1/2 acre. Subject parcel is located at 313 East Main Street, adjacent to 317 East Main, which you just annexed. Proposed annexation area is 32% contiguous to town of Ellettsville, and 100% of the property owners are parties to the petition. Property is currently zoned AG/RR, agricultural/rural reserve by Monroe County, and is recommended to be designated as residential 1, single-family residential upon annexation. Property is located in Council Ward 3. It is serviced by water. Annexation should not require any capital projects to extend services. Town will provide fire, EMS, and other governmental services immediately upon annexation. As with the last annexation, the Plan Commission action shall be in the form of a favorable or no recommendation to Town Council, which takes final action on the annexation petition. Staff recommends a favorable recommendation be forwarded to Town Council with a recommended zoning of R1, single-family residential, upon annexation.
Any questions for Denise? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, we're ready for a motion.
Make a motion for a favorable determination, yeah.
Was there a second? I didn't.
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
David Drake.
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Steve Hale.
Yes.
Zach Michael.
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Pat Wazalowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the voluntary annexation of 6140 North Starnes Road. The petitioner is Umbarger Farms, case number PC-2415. Denise.
The petitioner is requesting to annex 2 parcels totaling approximately 143 acres of land located at 6140 North Starnes Road, and the other one simply is North Starnes Road. The proposed annexation is 49.68% contiguous to the town of Ellettsville, and 100% of the property owners are parties to the petition. The properties are currently zoned AG/RR, Agricultural Reserve by Monroe County, and is recommended to be designated as A1 Agricultural upon annexation. Properties will be located in Council Ward 1. Property is serviced by water. The annexation should not require any capital projects to extend services, and any cost for extension utilities is borne by the developer, but there's not one in this case. Sorry, that was boilerplate language. Town will provide police, fire, EMS, and other governmental services immediately upon annexation. Plan Commission action shall be in the form of a favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation to Town Council, which takes final action on the annexation petition. Staff recommends a favorable recommendation be forwarded to Town Council with a recommended zoning of A1 agricultural upon annexation. Petitioner is not present. They live in Bargersville, and I told them I would request the annexation on their behalf.
Okay. Any questions for Denise?
I take it they're gonna develop this?
No, he's bringing it in as agricultural.
Oh, he is, okay.
What was that last you just said? What she just said?
It's gonna be agricultural.
It's gonna be agricultural. I asked if they're gonna have any homes on it, she said no.
Thank you.
It's coming to dispute homes across the street.
Okay, were there any more questions for Denise? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Motion for favorable.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
David Drake.
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Steve Hale.
Yes.
Zach Michael.
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Pat Witolowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Last but not least, preliminary plat pre-approval for 115 lots in Phase 1 of the proposed Harmon Farms subdivision at 7633 West State Road 46. Petitioner is Chris Smith, case number PC 24-14. Denise.
This is a request by Chris Smith for consideration of pre-approval of the preliminary plat for the proposed Harmon Farms Phase 1 subdivision. The current property is located at 7633 West State Road 46 and will have approximately 85 lots, and 3 of those lots are for common area on 115 acres. Initially, the application stated there would be approximately 151 lots that I also included in the staff report, but the commercial section has been removed from this phase. Parcel is zoned Commercial 3, General Business. The proposed subdivision will be a mixed-use village center influenced by the envisioned Ellettsville and comprehensive plans. The plans for the proposed subdivision include connections to Sycamore Drive and the Boys and Girls Club and a West Side Fire Department, for which petitioner is providing the lot. The planning and layout of the subdivision is pursuant to town's proposed Unified Development Ordinance, which we hope to have to the Plan Commission in July. The petitioner is not seeking approval of a preliminary plat, but pre-approval of the preliminary plat, and I want to stress this. He is seeking pre-approval that will allow him to begin grading, infrastructure, and roughing in streets and a multi-use path. In addition, the petitioner will be constructing a connection to Sycamore Drive, not only in the Harmon Farm subdivision, but on RBB school property. Pre-approval of the preliminary plat is not an approval of the Sycamore Drive connection on school property. Before the grading permit can be issued, petitioner will have to provide a permit from NDOT for a construction entrance off of West State Road 46, which they have applied for. Petitioner will not be allowed to have construction equipment using Raymond Run Drive. Then before grading can commence, a grading permit application will have to be submitted with all required documentation for review and approval. An erosion control bond will also be required before grading can begin. Petitioner will be required to obtain demolition permits for any structure on the site that may need to be removed. The petitioner will not be able to designate lots, sell lots, or submit building permits until he obtains formal preliminary plat approval from the Plan Commission. Before petitioner can return to the Plan Commission for approval of a preliminary plat, he will have to go before the Board of Zoning Appeals for several variances, provide a traffic study, and show all easements on the preliminary plat. When the petitioner returns to the Plan Commission for formal approval of the preliminary plat, he will be required to go through tech review again. Some of the variances petitioner will be requesting from the BZA are due to the proposed Unified Development Ordinance. As stated in the staff report, petitioner will construct the entire connection to Sycamore Drive from Harmon Farms, crossing school property, which will go before the Plan Commission for approval, as well as going through tech review. Construction of Sycamore Drive connection on the property owned by RBB Schools will require approval from the Parks Board, an easement for the use of park land, and Plan Commission approval. It is a staff opinion that the proposed pre-approval of the preliminary plat will provide what is needed for petitioner to begin grading. Therefore, staff requests pre-approval of the preliminary plat with the following conditions before grading begins. Approval and issuance of a grading permit. All required documentation shall be included with the grading permit, as well as erosion control bond and provide a copy of the temporary construction entrance permit from NDOT. And I'll go through some of the site plan after I admit this person. This is the overall site layout. And another site layout. These are all site layouts. And this is the proposed future Harmon Farm Sycamore Drive connection. This is a rendering of the proposed layout of the subject property. And this is an illustration of the village center. And I want to go back up to this one. Our park is below Harmon Farms, and this is the RBB school system land. So I'll go back to the site plan. Petitioners here, engineers are here if you have any questions.
I've got a question, of course. And I've asked this when the apartments were built, and I'm going to ask it when these 250 homes, if I'm not mistaken, are going to be put in there. Is the town's utilities capable, the water in our sewer, to add that on? I saw Mike come in, so I thought I'd ask that question. No, he's back there.
You want me to come up and respond, or just say yes?
Well, does AJ know? Do you know? Okay. AJ can answer your questions.
My name is AJ Willis. We've been working with the utility department going through the utility design for this project. The utilities are capable of serving this development, and we'll be running a water model to double check the capacity of the water service throughout the development. Currently, we're looking into the sewer infrastructure to confirm that the capacity is there. I think Wessler Engineering did a report on this, and it shows it can take up to an additional 55,000 gallons per minute at the sewer plant for the Smithville lift station, which is ultimately where this development will be connecting. So we are working to verify all that, and everything leading up to it shows that it can.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Denise?
So my question is, pre-approval, how much, I mean, this is not typical, we've not done this before. How much grading is going to be done? And then what happens if a variance doesn't get approved, or the pre-approval doesn't get approved, or not the pre-approval, but the can't say it, but the normal stage? What happens if that doesn't get approved? I mean, how much land are they going to disturb? And then if for some reason it happens that it doesn't get approved, what happens to the land that's already been graded? And you see my question?
Well, the grading will allow him to clear the land, which is going to take some time, and it allows him to get the infrastructure in. He can't designate any lots at this time, so if something happens, the variances, how can I word it? The variances won't affect what is happening now. It will allow him to get to the preliminary, formal approval of the preliminary plat, because he's not going to designate any lots at this time. It's so he can start his grading, his road connection, but he will have to go through several inspections during this process also.
So, and you mentioned something about infrastructure being put in, like,
Yeah, I think he will go ahead and AJ can go ahead, or Chris can,
Chris,
what
you wanna-
infrastructure you'll be putting in.
Good evening, I'm Chris Smith, I'm the developer petitioner. Large project, it's going to be built out over time. I appreciate Denise allowing us to come tonight and presenting to you tonight. The variances are more for the lot, the size of the lots and things. The road alignments, the odds of those changing are pretty slim. We've done all environmental reviews and seen what's out there. So the road alignments probably won't move much, if at all. We need to get bidding started and just get the site work started in terms of clearing trees, removing debris, dismantling the barn, because we want to rebuild I'll say a smaller version of the barn with that material somewhere on site, to keep the historical nature of it, keep kind of the history of the farm there. So all this just takes time, and while we're doing that and kind of getting ready for real site infrastructure work, we will be back with our preliminary plat to finalize it after we get our variances, or whatever variances, with whatever variances we get, we'll finalize that and bring it back to you. Because of the nature and size of this project, we've been trying to be very transparent all along. We've met with planning multiple times. We've done tech review. We've met with the fire department repeatedly to make sure our alley widths, our road connections, their outriggers fit everywhere. They were in Zionsville today, meeting with the Zionsville Fire Department to talk about what they do up there, because they have projects similar to this up there. This will educate all of us on how the Envision Ellettsville plan will really get implemented based on its criteria. So this is why it's pre-preliminary, is we will be back before you, I would say, multiple times in the next 5, 6 years, 7 years, and let you see it every step of the way and get your approval every step of the way.
here quite a few years, and I've never done it this way before, so.
I fully understand,
I
yeah.
was very curious on why it started this way, and, I mean, but there is no thing that's holding this up or holding the
right.
project up to where you couldn't just applied for the pre-approval or the plat approval?
He needs to go to the BZA first.
Okay,
He's
but.
going to have several variances he
So,
needed.
but shouldn't have they already went to the BZA first before they come to us, or?
No, because it's going to require some documentation, and I didn't want to prevent him from starting his grading process. It's a little different project for the town. It's going to be a village center, so it's going to be a great deal of work, especially the connection to Sycamore Drive, and so I wanted to get him started, and then if or when he gets pre-approval, then we'll have to sit down and work on his variances and exactly where they're needed.
All right.
And if by chance he wouldn't get the variances, the work that's being approved in this pre-approval would still be required. He would still be doing that.
Correct.
The lots would just be
It
different.
would be required for another project that he would do in
Right.
any event, so.
Yeah, because he's not going to be allowed to lay out his lots at this time, because they do have to go, there's going to be a reduction of some pursuant to our UDO that's proposed in lot sizes, so.
But didn't you say that the streets and stuff were going in, so,
It'll just be rough,
okay.
very rough.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Denise or for Chris while he's up here? Okay, I guess not. Is there anyone from the public that wants to comment on this? Come on up, sign in and tell us your name.
So I'm Norm Wampler Jr. Just got a question. Did you guys say 250 homes?
It was estimated early on at that, but will be changing.
And what's a village center? What does that mean?
So mixed-use village center allows a mixture of commercial and residential. So the plan is when you pull off of 46 turn into development,
Yep.
you will be going through commercial. First, there'll be various shops there and businesses.
And you guys might have said, is there like a traffic study going to be done? I mean, it's already,
Yes,
I mean, I
it's
live
in
out.
it's in the process, and petitioner expects it at any time, but he'll have to provide the traffic study before he gets a formal approval.
Gotcha, okay. All right, just curious, thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, do we have a motion? I'll make a motion that we give preliminary plat pre-approval for case number PC-24-14.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
David Drake.
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Steve Hale.
Yes.
Zach Michael.
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Pat Wazalowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Planning Department update.
Okay, before you, we put a meeting notice for a work session for the town council on April 22nd at 7 p.m. And the purpose is to plan for, as it says, for Ellettsville's growth, discuss the creation of new revenue streams, and how incentives can be used for economic development in Ellettsville. So the town would like for the Plan Commission members to attend this if you can. And I will be sending out, probably the week before, a notice for the Plan Commission, so in case you all do attend, we don't get in trouble with a open door policy or anything. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And next meeting is May 2nd. At this time, I don't anticipate any new business.
Okay. Next item is privilege of the floor. Anyone from the audience want to discuss something that isn't on our agenda for tonight? Seeing none. Plan Commission comments. Seeing none, we're adjourned.